Last week, we saw a historic race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway where only 11 cars finished in that one. And today, about the halfway point of the chase, and race 22 of season number 5. We head up to Michigan International Speedway for the second 2-mile speedway on the season, and we will see some really fast speeds, 205 plus miles an hour. And what will these drivers do today, knowing that after this one, we have 3 wild cards in a row of Daytona, Watkins Glen, and Martinsville. It's the Ally 400 at Michigan International Speedway. What's up, everyone? It's your boy NR2003, aka Nathan Stapleton, and welcome to Michigan and the second 2-mile track on the season. Of course, very early on in the season, I believe race 3 or race 4, it was Auto Club. This track is not really similar to Auto Club. The only thing that it's similar to is the high speeds and being a D-shaped oval. Michigan is a lot more banked and a lot more higher speeds, and unlike Auto Club with 3 or 4 different groups, it's really going to be 2-lane race right here today. So it's going to be interesting, and I'm not alone for this one. I'm joined by the Michigan native Elijah Lynn, and Elijah, after last week at Las Vegas, what do you think we will expect here for the halfway point of the chase here today at Michigan?
Well, first of all, might I just say, it's a Christmas miracle to be home, even though it's not Christmas quite yet. But as far as what we're about to see here at the Michigan International Speedway, this type of racing is going to be slightly similar, but in a lot of cases, it's going to be very different. One thing that we saw at Vegas that is going to be very much in common with this race is the very high speeds, especially if we look at speeds going into turn number 1, they're going to be well over 200 miles an hour. We're also going to expect a lot of these drivers, especially through 3 and 4, because this is very noticeable right around those particular portions of the racetrack, is a lot of drivers are going to be sending it into the corner. Some of them are going to just try to hit that sweet spot through all of these corners, really, through turns 1, 2, 3, and 4, where you want to try to stay in that gray area. That is where the groove is. That's where the sweet spot is to get the best runs. If you go too low, you're going to have to start checking up, and your car is going to definitely get a little bit loose on you, and you're going to lose a few spots. If you go too high, same case. So it's definitely going to be a lot of drivers just trying to find the right line, more importantly, trying to get to that same line, but also just try to keep their cars in one piece, because with the racing that we've seen in years past here at this version of Michigan, it can get pretty chaotic.
Oh yeah, it definitely can. We've seen it in the past. Don't know if we will see it here today with the rains being in full effect this late in the season. But we saw the last 2 weeks at Texas and Las Vegas, even though these rains are in full effect, we've still seen some chaos here. And speaking of chaos, here's how the points shake up after Las Vegas. Joe Witkowski is still the point leader, but only 6 points ahead of Josh Williamson in second, who has won the last 2 points-paying races. But unfortunately for him, he's just 34th here today. So it's going to be a tall task if he wants to go 3 in a row, but maybe some strategy he can get the job done. Third in points is Alexander Vitali, 25 points behind. Fourth is Matthew Burnett, having a great chase in that hidden most was number 9, 26 points behind. And then fifth in points is Logan Williams, 27 points behind. And this is a big one for Logan Williams here today. He's only minus 27, starts third. He could make up, maybe not ground on Joe Witkowski, since Witkowski starts 5th, but definitely make up ground on Burnett, Singletary, and Josh Williamson. So Logan Williams could be a player here in the second half of the chase. Just have to wait and see. Beal, the All Club winner, I will point that out, is minus 40. Troy Bowe and Eli Blight minus 53. Noah Clifton minus 64. Derek Hamill and Nick Lopez both minus 66. And then rounding out the chase grid is Ace Garcia minus 71. He's had a dismal chase, and he just keeps on getting worse for that number 17. But on the front row, we have a pair of non-chasers and a pair of drivers who need a good one. Juan Duane is on the pole, and he's had a pretty solid season. Quiet but consistent. And how about this? The Lord driver Elijah on the front row of White Walker in second. He barely missed out on the chase. Kind of been a slump for the last 5 races, and he's still second here today. Row 2 is a pair of chase drivers, the Logmans and Eli Bright. Row number 3 is Bradley Weem and Joe Rakowski. Row number 4 is Matthew Hubert and Dale Campbell, the season world champion. And running out the top 10, once again starting inside the top 10, Travis Hampton in 9th. And Juan Garcia rounds out the top 10. And going to the back, like I said, there's some chases starting deep in the field, like Josh Williamson, Brian Beal, Alexander Vitale, Ace Garcia, Matthew Burnett, all starting in the mid to the back here today. And that could be interesting, especially with how Michigan can be a tough track to pass. Let's go ahead and get these draws running off here at Michigan for the Ally 400 and for race 22 of the season. And hopefully everyone was off on the first attempt here. And looks like that is the case. Well, Elijah, it's race 22 on the season. Halfway through the chase, I should say. 5 races down, 5 races to go, and this is the last normal race until the finale at Atlanta with Daytona, Watkins Glen, and Martinsville after today. Who do you think will win the Ally 400?
I could be biased and say my guy Wyatt Walker, but you know, there is a chance that he could fall back. But if I have to really be realistic with you, I am definitely going to say Joe Rakowski. Rakowski, especially for what we've seen in the past few weeks, he has been pretty fast. He did get his 4th win at Gateway a few weeks ago. So I'm looking for him to come out of this pack with his 5th win of the year. So definitely trying to put more history in the history books here for the JBL Cup Series. He could very well add more today.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And as much as I don't like that pit, but that would be historic 5 wins in the season in 22 races, and he is the point leader. And knowing that it's Daytona, Watkins Glen, and Martinsville the next 3 weeks, he would love to build up as much of a point lead as he can before the next 3 wildcard events. Here we go. Pace car dives down onto pit road, then it will be Ryan DeWine and Wyatt Walker on the front row. Make sure everyone is good, and we are. And here we go, halfway through the Season 5 chase. The Ally 400 is green flag racing. We are racing at Michigan. Ryan DeWine will lead lap number 1 here, as the solo Williams tried getting that inside lane to work on the opening lap, but was not able to get the job done not quite in 3 and 4. And now these guys are going to spread out all over the place while they're going to go for the race lead, as they are 3 and 4 right behind them. You got to make up as many spots as you can early on here at Michigan.
And you definitely saw it there through 1 and 2 on that first lap. Everybody that was on that middle line, they definitely got a better run through the corner. But look further in the back of the field. Look what that also does. Everybody is 3 wide, almost 4 wide, kind of right on top of each other. That's probably going to kind of disperse a little bit as this race goes on, but you definitely want to take in this excitement as much as you possibly can, because we're seeing lots of good racing, lots of drivers just trying to find the right path to go. We're 4 wide heading through the corner. They get that situated. That looks like, I think that was Kyler Sustry in the 24, John Andrews in the 34. Both of those drivers making a little bit of contact through 1 and 2, but they get that sorted out. We stay green, but definitely see it right there. Lots of drivers getting a little bit more spread out, so they're definitely seeing that the lines, definitely seeing which lines are more optimal, as Wyatt Walker leads lap number 3. He's going to have a little bit of challenge from Ryan Durrani.
And we're going to see this all day. You want to hit the sweet spot. The sweet spot is really a lane and a half, maybe 2 lanes. Right in the middle. If you go too low, you will drop back. If you go too high, you will slide up and drop back. So you really want to be in the sweet spot. And Ryan's trying to make the split. Look at Eli Bright trying to make it through the middle between Logan Williams and Wyatt Walker. Dwight to the race to lead. And they're not going to go through for a second anymore. But it's going to be Wyatt Walker and Eli Bright battling for the second place spot. But I'd like to mention two things. We will see two pit stops here today, about 19 to 21 laps. That's as close from Wyatt Walker, almost made it through the middle for the race to lead. And once again, for the third time in the last 4 races during the summer, it is hot. 90 degrees here today, so these guys will be slipping and sliding, and we're seeing it. These guys are trying multiple lanes here, but it's going to be tricky to pass. But so far, so good. 5 laps in, and how about the season 4 champion Derek Hamill inside the top 10, almost inside the top 5.
Really good showing here early in the going for Derek Hamill, as he's currently shown inside of the top 5. He's going to slip back just a little bit, but still a good effort nonetheless. Logan Williams contesting for third on Walker. He's going to get it. But I think Walker, I thought he was going to try to put the crossover on the 17, but looks like Logan Williams, I thought he was going to try to knock on the door for second. He might try going in through turn 1, but it's going to be pretty interesting on just of how, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Battle for the race lead. Here comes Eli Bright to the inside.
Eli Bright has been a top 5 bus type season for Legacy Motor Club, but it's worked out more times than not for Joe Rakowski than Eli Bright. Bright still only has that 1 race victory all the way back at Willow Springs during the West Coast Swing fairly early on in the season. Oh, whoa! My goodness, that was close.
That's what I was talking about, with some drivers getting just a little bit too below that gray area. That's exactly what happened to Logan Williams, and he's definitely going to bite the dust there. It looks like he's going to lose at least 3 positions on the entirety of the front straightaway heading through the first corner. So he's going to tuck right back in behind Joe Rakowski here, it looks like, in that 6th position.
Well, that was almost catastrophic right there from the non-chase driver of Wyatt Walker. Almost got into the corner panel of the 17. And looks like that inside lane is really not working out anymore. It worked out early on, but now I'm almost halfway through this field one, and that inside lane is not working out at the moment. Not going to be a ton of tire right when I say that Logan Williams is going to try that third lane, but obviously not going to work out. How about Trey Bell making some moves up front? And how about up front Wyatt Walker trying this inside lane, trying to prove me wrong in the number 78.
He's going to have the advantage heading down the back straightaway going into turn 3. He's got the nose peeked out ahead, and looks like Eli Bright was just a little bit higher than what he would have wanted, and he's definitely going to lose that first position to the number 78, as now Durrani's under attack from the 47 of Hamill. And this is another thing that we're going to be seeing here, is that the draft is going to be very optimal at a place like Michigan International Speedway. So you're going to see some drivers in single file trains, kind of like what we're seeing right here, being led by Bradley Ream. The draft is going to be very, very key at a place like Michigan, especially if through the front straightaway, even down the back straightaway, but more notably the front straightaway. That's where I see a lot of this happen, is that if you go down on the inside and everybody else goes around the outside, guess what? You're not getting any positions unless if you get a good run. That was a close call there. Look at the 47 of Hamill diving low.
Well, I had low expectations going into this one beyond the scenes, but this has delivered so far of these guys. But the hot temperatures are slipping and sliding all over the place. And how about Ream in the number 22? He's going to go to the second place spot, and I guess a similar type track, at least speed-wise to this, is Indianapolis. And you know who won that race? Bradley Ream. So, another similar track with the high speeds, and this 22 team, it might be in prime position to get the race win. And how about these 3 all together? Eli Bright, Joe Rakowski, Trey Ball. They're going to split Bright 3 wide for, I believe, the 4th position. Oh my goodness.
That's as close as you can get right there. Bright, no pun intended, major bag alert right there. I mean, as Bright was in the middle, was the meat in that sandwich, that chicken sandwich right there. But definitely makes it out of that, still retaining that 4th position. Somehow, it's actually kind of surprising of how Bright was in the middle through at least the entirety of turns 1 and 2, all the way down the back straightaway, and then breaks out of that through 3 and 4, and he's holding on to that 4th position. Now going to take 3rd away from Derek Hamill. Impressive driving by Eli Bright.
And Leximo Club working together. Bright not all by himself. He's going to carry Witkowski past the 47. Now, Trey Ball's going to try to make this inside lane. Look, how about Clampton out of nowhere in his midst up front? And Juan Garcia and Matthew Hubert.
Oh, look at Crampton. He's going to... Looks like it's just... If anything, if Barto were to keep blocking him, he would have taken Crampton all the way down to the apron. Heck, all the way down into the grass area, but... Crampton, even though he just got himself inside of the top 10, he might have to start over from scratch as he might lose a couple more positions. Actually, no, retains them over Logan Williams and Matthew Hubert in the 23 just in the background. But up front, Bright's trying to go for the lead again.
These Leximo Club cars are fast once again. Same story, different track. Look at Eli Bright all the way on that inside lane. Wyatt Walker got a little bit loose. Joe Witkowski got really loose. He's going to lose the position. How about Justin Zeidel? He's up front in this number 38. Last time he was in the Chicago area, I guess I'm going to say, at Chicagoland, he won. Michigan's not close. It's kind of close to Chicagoland. And he's up front. And look at all that. I'm so sorry, Elijah, but everyone just ditched on the 78. Bright to the race lead for major help from Ream, Zeidel, and Hamill. But look at Dewani for one on the outside in that red number 14. Oh my goodness, we are fanning all over the place. And oh yeah, we have 5 laps to go until pit stops.
You just saw that right there. Durrani sliced from the top to the bottom. As far as the double file was concerned, that he sliced underneath of Bradley Ream. He's obviously not going to make that work, but that's what I was talking about a little bit ago. That last lap when you had those 4 cars lined up and they passed Wyatt Walker heading into turn number 3, but obviously Walker was able to recover from that. So he's still maintaining that 2nd position perfectly fine, but it's that draft that's coming into play as well. So I want to keep an eye on that as this race goes on. And as well as what you just mentioned, pit stops coming up here very, very shortly.
Oh yeah, two stopper here today. Not major tire wear. About maybe half a second to a second. Not, it's some of the best tire these guys have experienced all year, but there is still going to be tire wear. And they're still probably going to have to take tires on both pit stops here. Wyatt Walker to the inside of Eli Bright. He washes out of the sweet spot. And Wyatt Walker back to the race lead. No one can really keep the race lead for a long period of time. There's been a lot of Wyatt Walker, a lot of Eli Bright, though. And now Justin Zeidel in that 2nd spot in that number 38. Looking for his 2nd win on the season here today. And he might be able to get the job done. Bradley slides up the racetrack. That's going to allow Juan Dewani, Joe Witkowski, Dale Campbell, and that pack of cars to catch up. And how about Penske, the 3rd driver of Alex San Vitolo? He was about in the middle to the back of the field, and now he has to work his way up front in this number 12, and same with John Andrews as well.
A pretty impressive drive by Savitali in the 12 machine, being stuck on the back. He managed to muscle his way towards the front of the field. Not sure if I could really say the same for Josh Williamson. I don't even know how many spots he's possibly gained, but let's see.
He's gained some, but not a lot. In 23rd at the moment. Last time by, so
at least that's 11 positions gained here. But it'll only be a matter of time before he can get back up a little bit closer to the front after these pit stops. As you see Zeidel edge out ahead of Wyatt Walker heading through 3 and 4 back to the stripe. Zeidel's going to get it. But how long is he going to keep it as they head back into 1?
These 3 might be some of the best cars here at the moment. Late in this one, Zeidel, for all we know, he might have a long one car because he didn't take the race lead until right before pit stops. As the 48 is on pit road, and so is the one of all miles. So 2 cars pit last time by on that 19. Let's see who will pit on that 20. I think we're gonna have a lot of takers. Wyatt Walker's gonna stay out, but here comes Seidel, Bright, Giovanni, Hamill, Lukowski, Weem, Crampton, and many, many others on lap 20.
There's a big group of cars, and if we were at a super speedway, I'd say you want to pit with your friends, and at least have some people to pit with you. But at a place like Michigan, it doesn't matter too much because it's not a restrictor plate track. But as I mentioned, it is very draft dependent.
Oh yeah, very, very draft dependent. And you want to be in the draft, and that might be why a handful of cars, I want to say 10 or 15 cars, came down at the same time. A pretty wide pit road, so we shouldn't have too many pit road issues. And here comes Wyatt Walker, Logan Williams, John Andrews, Juan Garcia, and Abel, Burnett, Sustry, and the rest of the cars that are going to pit this time by. So around lap 19 to 20 to 21 is when these guys end up coming down pit road for the first stop. And let's see what Wyatt Walker and Logan Williams can do here. Get a good 4-tire pit stop. And now, my question is, what's going to work out? The undercut or the overcut here?
I think that's definitely a pretty interesting question. I think we're about to find out the answer.
See, there's Seidel, Wyatt Walker, John Andrews just now leaving pit road. And Wyatt Walker's still in the lead for now, but he's just getting up to speed. It's going to be close as Eli Bright's going to go side by side with Seidel.
They're just going to get by Wyatt, but I think Wyatt is just enough up to speed where he's going to be able to hang with these two.
It's not too bad. I don't think it's really going to matter all that much today if these drivers do the undercut or the overcut. Eli Bright going to cycle out as the race leader on that number 23 of 50, almost halfway through. Still one more cycle pit stops around lap 40, give or take. And it's Eli Bright, Justin Seidel, Wyatt Walker, Derek Hamill in the 4th position, John Andrews in 5th, double top 5 as of now for front row. Outside Vitalik's inside the top 10 and 6th. Logan Williams in 7th. And then we got a gaggle of cars right here with Aaron Abel and Ryan Durrani running out the top 10. Wait a minute, that's the 48. Is he a lap down? No, he's not. The 48 of Messi and Owen Miles, they did the undercut, pitted a lap earlier than everyone else, and now they're up inside the top 10, top 12.
That actually worked. I think that was a pretty impressive strategy by the 48 and the 1 to come into pit road just a little bit earlier than everyone else. It's obviously paid some pretty big dividends with Santi Messi hanging on to the 10th position. Looks like the 1 of Owen Miles probably 13th currently,
I
which
believe
is
so.
Still really, really good strategy by these two.
Great strategy, and that might be something that these guys might be taking notes on for that final pit stop here in this one. And just gonna quickly see there's Burnett running inside the top 15. Crampton's gonna lose some ground, was inside the top 10, now outside the top 10. Ball's gonna lose some ground. How about the spotter cars? Both of them gained a lot of track position. We saw the 7 in, I want to say about 30th, and Josh Williamson was in 23rd. Now he's in 18th and 17th and 18th for the spotter cars. So great round of pit stops for them, and that's gonna help them. Oh no, Joel Lukowski, a terrible pit stop for the number 43.
Man, he must have slipped all the way back to the 21st position. Definitely a very horrible stop for this number 43 team of Joe Rakowski, but I wouldn't quite give up on them just yet. They may be down, but they're most certainly not out as we've just begun the second half of this one. So it'll be very interesting to see once we get to the next round of green flag stops if he's going to be able to recover it. I think that stop will probably be the one to determine if Rakowski's going to be in contention for this one. But look at the 77 of Williamson in the midst of a 3-wide situation. He's going to get out of that one, but still stuck side by side with the 41 of Trey Bartow. He's going to get out of that. Now he's going to go to the inside of the 45.
Oh! spotted teammates, down the front stretch, it's good to have a teammate in that scenario because 7 of Ace Garcia showed up the 41, realized that, hey, the Ace Garcia is probably out of the championship, 1 points behind, and he knows that Josh Williamson is only 6 points behind Witkowski, and every position is a point, and right now Witkowski is 1, 2, 3, 4 positions behind Williamson. So right now, going into Daytona, as things stand, it would be, I think, maybe a 2-point advantage for Witkowski over Williamson. Great one from Spire, and Witkowski really needs to get up to the front, and hopefully his pit crew does not mess up like he did the first time. Back up to the front. How about this one from the Season 4 champion of Dale Hamill to the second spot?
Dun-dun. Derek Hamill literally just being a shark right now in that second position. He's been very quiet, but still has hung around inside of the top 5, top 10. We've talked about it before, but he is in prime position to try to get this race lead away from Eli Bright.
Hamill has not won a race yet in the JBL Cup Series in the last 2 seasons at least. Last season when he won the championship, he was bad, fast, every week, and was consistent and did not win at all, I'm pretty sure. This year, same story, really consistent, maybe not as consistent, but man, he has kicked it up a notch in some of these races, but has had some bad luck. That's been a theme for a lot of these drivers, but Hamill, he's trying to take advantage of this good one here today, all over the back bumper of Eli Bright in this number 42, and how about this chase drivers 1, 2, 3, and then the 2 front row cars lining out the top 5 and 4th and 5th. Hamill trying to get the one on the inside lane, but not gonna quite get there. And it's, oh my goodness, there are 3 right behind him for the 5th position.
Yeah, it looks like Savitali's gonna back out of that one. He's gonna fall back to the 7th position now. Walker's gonna move up inside of the top 5, so driving a little monkey wrench in between the front row motorsports cars, but how about this up front? Logan Williams trying to wrestle second away from Derek Hamill once they hit the back straightaway.
Logan Williams has as many top 10s as Joe Witkowski this season with 11, but he only has 4 top 5s. Witkowski has 9 top 5s. Witkowski having a bad day. I mentioned at the kickoff that Logan Williams, he probably won't be able to gain a ton on Joe Witkowski, but right when I say that, the way that Joe Witkowski is running in 17th, Logan Williams in 3rd, that's 14 points gained. And Logan Williams, as of now, would go from 27 to, I believe, 13 points beyond Witkowski. So with Witkowski having a day in the middle, the field that is widening things wide open. Because Williamson is a few positions ahead of Witkowski. Sam Vitale is up here inside the top 10. Logan Williams is up here inside the top 10. And then Matthew Burnett, he is in 16th, right ahead of Joe Witkowski. So basically, 2nd through 5th are having better days as of now than Joe Witkowski right now. Oh boy.
And it's definitely pretty it's pretty interesting, and it's also, as you mentioned, it's going to open up the floodgates pretty wide open to shake up the chase picture, especially with how close the points are probably going to be. But as far as Joe Witkowski's case, I'm with you with what you said a few laps ago. I'm really hoping that this next pit stop that isn't going to mess up the hopes and chances of Witkowski going for win number 5 and increasing his points advantage. It's definitely not something that he would want to begin his second half of the chase run at the championship. So if I were him, I'd definitely just start picking off some other guys here and hope and pray that this money stop gets him back up right where he wants to be in another run for win number 5. So this points picture is going to be pretty interesting if it stays exactly how it is, but especially with Josh Williamson, whom I believe you might have mentioned, he was 4 spots ahead of Witkowski, as you can see right here. He might get 2 more if he can get past the 2 of Juan Garcia and the 48 of Santi Messi. He's in perfect position to do that, but hasn't really capitalized as of right now.
You know what? We might depending on what the 77 does, if this 77 and both of the spotter cars can get a great restart, a great pit stop like the first one, it might not be out for Josh Williamson to sneak a top 5 after starting 34th here today. And it pays to have a good pit crew here, and definitely is the case for the number 77. Hamill is going to drop back a few positions, and also the 38 of Zidell. We saw that he had a long car on the first pit stop, and that's not the case this time, as he's fallen outside the top 10 and almost outside the top 15 back there. And now Logan Williams up to second. You know, from that third zone position, I feel like I think any one of these top 4 can get the job done, but I'm feeling something special for Logan Williams here today at Michigan. Trying to get a second win on the season, trying to get as many points as possible, and he's from Wisconsin. This is not too far away from Wisconsin, so it'll be somewhat a home win. But how about John Andrews, trying to get, I believe, his second win on the season? He won at Atlanta, the 100th points race in the JBL Cup Series. And he won the All-Star race, trying to get the race win here. And now this is like 4, just like the 38, his teammate on the first one. He might have a long run car during the second one.
A long run car, especially at this juncture of the race, is going to mean absolutely everything. But with the spot that the pit stops are in, it's going to be a little tough to try to get a long run car put together, because after this round of pit stops concludes, we'd only have at least 10 laps, so it'll only be a sprint to the finish from then on. So just gonna have to wait and see what happens here. As you saw through 1 and 2, a massive, I believe Andrews went really wide through the corners, and that's what allowed John Andrews to move up into the second position. And that's just what's going to, I was gonna say, it might enable the 47 of Hamill to drive low, but unfortunately, that hasn't quite been the case, as Hamill might lose this 4th position to the 14 of Ryan Durrani.
I think at this point, anyone inside the top 6 could have a realistic shot. Blight, Andrews, Williams, Hamill, Durrani, and Abel the top 6. 7th is Wyatt Walker, 8th is Alex Salvatore, 9th is Josh Williamson from the 34th position. And now look at Joe Wachowski with a little bit of a long run car.
Ooh, here it is.
Up to 10th, maybe getting side by side with the number 77. The top 2 points side by side here at Michigan with 11 laps to go. I think something happened to Kyle Sustry in the number 24, unfortunately, because he's now 1 lap down. Not entirely sure of what happened, because there's nothing in the chat. But that's unfortunate for that 24 after getting a good one last week at Texas. And here we go. This is what I thought. The one's going to pit here, and Eli Blight's going to do the undercut, pitting on that number 40.
That's going to be interesting. He's got the 14 of Durrani and Hamill, so the 12 of Salvatore following. Looks like some other drivers are taking notes.
A lot of drivers taking notes. Not only are the 48 and the 1 pitting, but about 10 or 15 others are pitting this time by. And now, here is the big question. 2 tires or 4 tires with 10 laps to go. Eli Blight, right sides are up. And it's gonna be right sides only. 2 tires.
Right, yep, just 2 tires. Some drivers are looking for that track position, so they're gonna get all that they can get here with just 2 tires. Some might take a splash and go, so that way they could be guaranteeing themselves good to go to the finish. See what Andrews does here.
He put a lap later. Looks like it's gonna be 2 tires for the 34 as well. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, that was really close.
That was close between William and Witkowski. We're going to take a close eye on Witkowski, because he got a slow stop the first time, a much better stop this time.
Oh yeah, he was out of there the second that car dropped. He took off.
A much better stop this time on the number 43. Let's see here. I believe the number 2 stayed out still. And yep, there's the 2, there's the 7. And now the number 5 is on top of the leaderboard. A BP Ruiz in the number 5. And let's see, Juan Garcia, 2 tires as well, and Miller, 2 tires. Yeah, I think everyone is taking just 2 tires here. Hamilton winning the 5th lane at Michigan. And there's the number 5, there's the 5 of BB, and he's going to pit this time by. He was able to stretch it all the way to lap 43, so good call from him, and unfortunately Sustrai is going to go back down pit road as well.
And other than Sustrai, I do believe BB Ruiz was the last car that had to come down pit road anyway. So they would complete this round of green flag stops. Now it's just a sprint to the finish.
And I think it's going to be Eli Bright as the race leader. Pretty sure. Have to see how things go out here after the second and final round of green flag pit stops. And it will be Eli Bright as the race leader, minus the 5, who obviously pitted. And how about Alex Sanvitale up to second in the number 12 machine? He does not have a race win yet this season, and this could be big for his shot at the championship. Hamilton in 3rd, Rakowski in 4th with a good pit stop. April, Logan Williams, Juan Giovanni, Josh Williamson, and John Anderson round out the top 10. And here comes Alex Sanvitale to the inside 5. 6 laps to go at the line, and Sanvitale trying to get his first career JBL Cup Series win here today at Michigan with a fantastic pit stop. 6 laps to go.
He led that lap across the stripe, heading back into 1. Sanvitale's going to be able to take the race lead. Bright looking to try to cross over. He's in perfect position to do that as we hit the back straightaway one more time. See if he pokes out here heading into turn number 3. It looks like he's definitely going to try to stay glued to the back bumper of the number 12. He's peaking low. He's right there.
Side draft. And, you know, this is a tale of 2 sides of the Cup Series. Eli Bright is 5-season veteran, and then Alex Sanvitale, a rookie, and quite possibly been one of the best rookies this season, trying to get his first career Cup win. But he's going to hold off one of the best, and Eli Bright, he's not won since Willow Springs, all the way back, I believe, race 5 on the season, before the rains really had any effect. He would love to get his second win on the season, but to do that, he's going to have to beat possibly the best rookie of the season so far. 4 laps to go. You cannot stop this guy. Joe Rakowski with a good pit stop. He's up to 3rd now. But Logan Williams not too far behind. And same with Josh Williamson in the number 77. It's going to be close on the championship going into Daytona. But we still have 3.5 laps to go. Bright and Sanvitale, I think it's going to come down to these 2. Because I don't think 3rd and back's going to have enough time.
It might as well just come down to these 2 because even though Rakowski is closing in on these top 2, they're practically out of time. As now we see the 8 of Aaron Abel getting to the inside of the 43 of Joe Rakowski. That would be the battle for 3rd. But it looks like Rakowski's going to get the better advantage around the high side coming off of turn number 4. He's going to definitely try to check out from that pack heading back into turn number 1. But Sanvitale, wow, look at how wide he went there.
That is not what you want to do. I get he's a rookie. He's never been here on the channel. But you don't want to make that mistake when racing against a 5-season veteran who's had multiple races here at Michigan. 2 laps to go. It is a duel at Michigan International Speedway. Will Blake get his second win on the season, or will Alex Sanvitale get his first? Oh my goodness. At Indianapolis, I said that no full-time drivers for Team Penske has won yet this season, and then Bradley Green won. Alex Sanvitale quietly got his way up to the front, and now he might be in a position to get the second full-time driver of Team Penske to get the job done. Side by side with 3rd, Abel's going to take it, but here we go, white flag, final lap here at Michigan, Sanvitale versus Bright.
Yes, Sanvitale's checking out here as they take the white flag. 1 more lap to go. 3rd place is catching up just a little bit. A little under a second and a half is the 8 of Aaron Abel, but they're not going to have time. Look at how wide Bright goes as they head down the backstretch one last time. This is a perfect spot for Eli Bright to try to capitalize as they head into turn 3.
The 3 and 4 is Eli Bright gonna peek to the inside. He's gonna try. He's gonna be side by side off turn number 4. He's gonna have to side draft him. Side draft Alexander Vitale. But it's not gonna be enough. Alexander Vitale is gonna get his first career JBL Cup Series win in a caution-free, amazing battle here at Michigan for the Ally 400. What a race.
That was really good. I thought those last few laps that Eli Bright was trying to pick at Savitali down at the bottom through 3 and 4, that he was going to get it at the last lap. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. And it pretty much sealed the deal there once he switched over to that camera angle, looking at the front straightaway from the opposite end of the racetrack. It pretty much sealed it there, as Alex Sabatali pretty much did not look back. He fended off the veteran of Eli Bright, and he takes the checkered flag here at Michigan.
How about that? The bad news for him is that Joe Witkowski finished third. He's not going to gain a ton of points on that number 43, but still, nevertheless, with his first win on the season, that's going to be his 10th top 10, his 4th top 5, and his first race victory. Lexi Motor Club does it again, 2nd and 3rd. You cannot stop him. Even though Witkowski had a bad pit stop on the first one, they nailed it on the second one. How about Aaron Abel in 4th for that number 8 machine? Luke Williamson 5th, and how about Josh Williamson started 34th and finishes 6th, and he's only going to lose maybe 3 points to Joe Witkowski here today. Great points management from the number 77, and great pit crews as well. I think we just saw that Spire might have the best pit crew, but Lexi Motor might have the second best pit crew here this season at this point. John Andrews in 7th, Ace Garcia in 8th, Juan Garcia in 9th, and still another good one for the Camel in 10th. Gets another top 10. Trey Bell in 11th, Seidel, Ream, Walker in 14th, Burnett in 15th, Stout, Messi, Beal, Kennington, and Crampton outside the top 20. And Monaco, Dwani, Hernandez, Hubert, Rez, All Miles, Jordan Edwards, and Nick Lopez, the top 28. Miller, Fitzy, Clifton, Blott, Taylor, Farmington, Matthews, all round out the 35 cars that finish on the lead lap, and unfortunately caused us why. One lap down, not exactly known what happened to the number 24, but that's a tough break for that team. But a great break for the number 12 of Alexander Vitale, put this way up to the front all throughout this one, and was able to pass Eli Bright late and hold on by 78 1,000ths of a second. What a race here at Michigan, caution free, had low expectations, and yet again, another banger here for Season 5 of the JBL Cup Series. As I go and put in the points, what's your final thoughts here at Michigan?
Honestly, this might have been a calm race, but it was a little bit chaotic at the same time. Especially since this was caution-free. We had a few close calls, but at the end of the day, of course, as you mentioned, Savatali did take the checkered flag. Just amazing story there. And how about this? If I were to give MVP of the race to somebody, I would definitely give it to Josh Williamson. Remember, he started well at the back of the pack. Almost at the caboose. 34th position you see there. Almost provisional. And he absolutely grinded his way to the 6th finishing position. How about that for Josh Williamson?
That was potentially the drive of the season for Josh Williamson to keep his championship alive. Because if he finished back there, and meanwhile Witkowski finished 3rd, going into Daytona, that would not have been good. Because that could have been anyway. That could have helped Witkowski at Daytona, or that could have hurt Witkowski. But because of his good one, it's not really going to matter that much for Joe Witkowski, I do believe. And Alexander Vitale getting his first win on the season, and his first win in the Cup Series. And I am right. Witkowski's going to gain a little bit over Josh Williamson, but only 3 points. It was 6, now it's 9 for Josh Williamson and Joe Witkowski. Witkowski, the dominant driver of the season, has a fairly little points advantage going into Daytona next week. Then Alexander Vitale in third, minus 22. Logan Williams jumps up a position in points, minus 29. Matthew Bennett in fifth, minus 38. Bright in sixth, minus 50. And Beal minus 55 in seventh. Bottle minus 61. Hamill minus 73 in ninth. Bottle in eighth. Ace Garcia in 10th, minus 76. Nick Lopez in 11th now, minus 91. And Noah Clifton lost 3 positions in points. Now is the worst driver in the chase, 12 out of 12, minus 92. Wow, what a race. Caution free, but we cannot have a bad race here for the JBL Cup Series. And, well, Elijah, one last question before we get out here at Michigan and start to head down to Daytona Beach, Florida. This week, well, I guess last week, the JBL officials announced that they would be putting on the restricted plates here at Daytona to try that out. There's a lot of rumors of what that would do. The speed's going to be about 190, 195, but the officials think that the racing should be still as chaotic as normal. What do you think we'll expect at Daytona with the points being as tight as they are in the 4 races to go of season number 5?
It's only going to get crazier. I think that's the only thing I can really say. It's only going to get crazier. And I mean, despite the fact that, yes, Joe Witkowski did extend his points lead out by just a little bit over Josh Williamson, the points are still pretty close, and probably leaving Daytona here after this next week, they're probably going to get just a little bit closer.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. It's going to be fairly exciting. Witkowski sure he gained a little bit, but he is going to enter Daytona, and possibly the worst case scenario, the dominant guy this season is only going to have a 9-point advantage going into Daytona, and that's going to be wild. The next 3 races are going to determine of what could happen at Atlanta Motor Speedway in 4 weeks' time. Daytona, Watkins Glen, and Martinsville. The next 3 races: Super Speedway, Road Course, and Short Track. It's gonna be fun. Thanks for Elijah for joining me up here in the booth as always. Congratulations to Alexander Vitale and Team Penske for getting the 3rd overall win and Sam Vitale's first. And until next week at Daytona for the Powerade 400, we will see you guys then. Bye.
Yeah, have a good one.